Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining me today's discussion. We'll be diving into the fascinating world of Crenodea. Overview of Crenodea in marine ecology. A review of present studies. My name is Jerome Buado, BSF2B student. So, Crenodea is also known as the lily of the sea and feather stars. This ancient creature have been around for over 500 million years, and they play key roles in marine ecosystem. Despite their ecological importance, they don't always get the attention they deserve. Today, I'm excited to take you through some of the latest findings on Crenodea, particularly from 2018 to 2019, and discuss how they helping us understand marine biodiversity, evolution, and conservation challenges. So, let's dive in. Crenodea taxonomy and distribution. Six extant species: California sea lilies, Galapagos feather stars, and more. Found in diverse marine environments from shallow reef to the deep sea. Adaptations: sessile sea lilies versus mobile feather star. Life strategies: K regions, tropical, temperate, and deep sea environments. Echinoderms. Crenodea are actually these echinoderms are characterized by their distinct radial symmetry and unique feeding mechanism. They capture plankton and organic materials from the water column using feather arms, making them crucial for nutrient cycling in marine ecosystem. But what really sets Crenodea apart in their ability to regenerate lost body parts, a feature that is not only fascinates biologists but could also have application in generative medicine. There are two types of Crenodea: sea lilies, which are stalk and sessile, and feather stars, which is unstalked and mobile. This dichotomy always Crenodea to copy various ecological niches from shallow coral reefs to the deep, dark depths of the sea or the ocean. Ecological role in marine ecosystems. Suspension feeders capture plankton and organic matter from the water column. Nutrient cycling transport energy from pelagic zones to benthic ecosystem. Habitat engineers provide shelter and increase biodiversity. Their presence boasts marine food webs and ecosystem resilience. Let's move on to the first article, the mitochondrial genomics or genomics. Advances in genetic research, mapping in mitochondrial genomes, unique geni arrangements in Crenodea versus other echinoderms. Insight into evolutionary history and specialization helps resolve taxonomic ambiligis between stock and unstocked species. One of the exciting Crenodea research has been in the field of genetics, especially in the microgenomics. Recent studies highlighted the unique gene arrangement in Crenodea. So, for example, recent findings of it is have relative significance different in the mitochondrial genome or stock and unstocked species, offering new insight in their evolutionary diversity or divergence. Next is the next one, the paleontology and evolutionary adaptation. The paleontology and adaptations, another fascinating area in the fossil record. Currently, they have incredible fossil history with adaptation that have allowed them to survive mass extinction events such as the Permian-Triassic extinction, challenging environmental condition, including shift in ocean chemistry and the rise of new predations. Fossil records Cranidae survival through extinction events, adaptation to changing ocean condition, and new predators, resilience, Cranidae's recovery after mass extinction events, and implication for understanding future survival under climate change. That's next. Is the symbiotic interaction. Symbiotic interaction Cranidae also play host to a wide range of symbiotic relationship from small crustaceans to parasitic worms. These creatures have developed diverse interaction with their environment. For example, some species of Cranidae provide shelter to symbiotic shrimp, creating microhabitats that increase biodiversity in the areas they inhabit. And the next one is, so we're gonna tackle about the symbiotic interaction first. Hosts for various organisms from crustacean to parasitic worms, mutualistic relationship shelter and feeding opportunities. And that is for the symbiotic interaction. Let's move on to the bioluminescence of the Cranidae. Bioluminescence and survival in the deep sea where light is scarce. Some species of Cranidae have developed bioluminescence. This fascinating adaptation might serve as both defense mechanism to deter predation or predators and a way to communicate with others of their species. Imagine of a glowing sea lily in the pitch black ocean. How incredible is that? So bioluminescence in the deep sea Cranidae survival adaptation defense mechanism flashing light to deter predation, and also it serves as the communication signal between individuals, especially in dark waters. A glowing sea lily. Nature is very wonderful. Next is the importance of Cranidae. Importance of Cranidae in marine ecology. Why should we care about Cranidae? Well, these creatures are far more than just ancient creatures and curiosities. Cranidae play crucial roles in maintaining marine ecosystems health. As suspension feeders, they contribute to nutrient cycling by transferring energy and nutrients from the pelagic open water zone to the benthic seafloor zone. This helps maintain the balance of marine ecosystem, which is vital for survival of many other species. Additionally, Cranidae are important habitat engineers. The complex structure provides shelter for a variety of small organisms, for juvenile fish to invertebrates. In fact, their ability to create microhabitats enhance local biodiversity, and as a result, Cranidae contribute significantly to complex and reliance or resilience of marine ecosystem. Next, so what are the challenges and threats facing faced by Cranidae? Current challenges Current challenges is the environmental threats, ocean acidification, warming waters, and habitat destruction. Because of the climate change, all of these environmental threats happening. And now, let's move on to the human impact. Overfishing, population, and climate change. Overfishing such as what we call this the bycatch fishing, when they do not use or they do not use the proper tools and equipment in catching fishes in the ocean, some cranidaeas or some species of echinoderms may catch or may get onto it, and it may cause bycatch fishing. The vulnerability of deep sea species sensitive to challenges in ocean condition, decline in population, and can lead to ecosystem balance. Because everything, all of the living things has a purpose in this world, even the smallest one, even the bigger one. So Next, we're going to have the future direction and recommendation. Looking ahead, there's a lot of exciting potential for Crenodea research. As I've mentioned earlier, recent advances in genomic, paleontology, and symbiotic relationships provide invaluable insights into the evolutionary adaptations. Future research should focus on broadening and geographic scope of studies. There are still many regions where Crenodea population have been through explored, particularly in the deep sea environments. Moreover, interacting real-time ecological data such as monitoring the effects of climate change and ocean acidity or acidification could offer critical information about how Crenodea and adapting to this shift by combining advanced technologies like water drones, genomic sequencing, and environmental DNA sampling. We call that eDNA sampling. We can enhance the understand of this species and better protect them. Future research and direction. So as I mentioned earlier, the DNA sampling, and let's move on to this to the conclusion. In conclusion, Cernidea might not be the most famous marine organism, but they are undoubtedly among of the fascinating and ecologically significant. From their evolutionary history to their role in marine nutrient cycling, increase as we face, and biodiversity. These creatures are integral to the health of the ocean as we increase environmental challenges. It's more important than ever to protect these ancient animals, appreciate for Cornidea and vital roles they play in marine ecology. Now, I'd love to hear any thoughts and questions for you, all of you guys. But now, I know that it is just a virtual conversation between you and me, but now I am very thankful for your time and listening to this journal review. Thank you very much and mabuhay.